What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. It's that time. It's time for the Wrestling Wire. So, I hope this finds you all well on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm sure you're all as equally excited as I am to see the commercials and maybe the halftime show. I don't know anybody who's even performing this year. I you know not a big football guy. I live in the South now, and it's real weird how like there's super football-y down here. Anyway, the final score is the Eagles 37 and the Chiefs 34. First quarter, yeah, quarter. It's quarter, right? It's quarter in the NFL. Yeah, it's quarter, not period. Quarter. First quarter score is like 13 or 14 for the Chiefs. Eagles are going to be scoreless. Second quarter, Eagles catch back up and pass them. They never lose the lead from there on out, and it's just back and forth the rest of the night. So there's your prediction from yours truly about the Super Bowl. I what do I know? I got to go to work, so I got no dog in the fight anyway. But anyway, so guys, let's talk about some wrestling because man, look, between the WWE, the AEW, the NWA, and the Impact Wrestling, it's nonstop right now. It is nonstop for these guys. But not only that, you know what else is nonstop? This show is nonstop. This show is nonstop. It's also live. It is live right now on XWW. So if you have Roku or ExtremeTVOnline.com, they've got it all. You can go and download this app. You can go and subscribe. $5 a month gets you a bunch of indie wrestling. You've got Pro Wrestling Savage. You got XWW content. You've got multiple podcasts, including both of these that you see from me. You've got Future Stars AML. You got XWW and their library pay per views. It is a bargain at $5 a month. But all the podcast content, that's yours for free. So you can check us out live on Roku TV as well as all the other places you normally look at us at, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Bucket. If they would, I'd go on MySpace. Um, I'd use MySpace. Why not? LinkedIn. I think I've shared the link to LinkedIn a couple times, but it's LinkedIn. You know, only like high end professionals use LinkedIn. The rest of us plebs just use standard social media. So at any rate, Matt Wesley Flasky chiming in from Norfolk, Virginia. What is up, dude? How you been? Um, that's the other thing, man. Like I miss having some of the back and forth banter with the viewers and the fans. So this is going to be pretty freelance, pretty opened up. If anybody got something to say it, and we can break it down. Um, but as far as it goes, man, Monday Night Raw was off the charts this week. They're still hitting and hovering right around that 2 million mark. So that's great for them. I'm glad to see AEW breaking a mill. I, I'm not sure how long they're going to be able to keep that up due to some of the current storylines they have going on. I think the most interesting thing, that they've got right now is Brian Danielson and MJF, which is the way it should be. Your world title should be the primary focus. Your heavyweight title should be the primary focus. Um, it's kind of off-putting when you're that's not your main objective. Now, in the case of a company like WWE, with the amount of stars that they have and the amount of television content that they create, it's it's perfectly fine. It makes a lot of sense because what they are doing is you're having your mid card titles as the upper echelon for your day to day operations, whereas the whole goal still revolves around your world title. You don't see it as often, and in my book, that's what keeps it special. I like that as the top thing. In my book, I think that's like the way to do business. Um, could I be wrong? Of course, I could be wrong. I'm just telling you my opinion. That's what this is. Lance Bader has chimed in. That's my buddy from the Dudes at Ringside podcast. What is going on, man? Um, but yeah, just what is going on is chatting up, the bigs. just stepping out of the indie circle for the day. I do the indie thing on Thursdays, and I do the big leagues on Sunday. And this time of day, what works is the fact that this is normally before a pay per view, or it's the afternoon after a Saturday night pay per view. So, I mean, it's like you go right from watching me to going right into your kickoff show to going right into the pay per view. It's like you get a whole evening of wrestling. So it works out. Um, Monday Night Raw, the biggest headline of the whole thing, oddly enough, was the fact that Lita showed up to help Becky Lynch defeat Bailey in that cage match. Now, I got no problem with it. I don't have anything against Lita. I just don't see Lita staying around for very long. Wesley Flasky chimed in to say, in my opinion, there's too many clicks. I mean, just way too many clicks. Now, when you say clicks, do you mean like factions or do you mean like political clicks in the back that we don't know about? Like the buddy buddy system, like you got the elite and then you got the Moxley bunch and you got this bunch and that bunch and the other bunch. Or do you mean like factions like we see on TV? Okay, I get that you're saying in AEW. That's why I use them as the example. But what when you say too many clicks, I'm trying to figure out in what sense you're talking about. Minimum for guys, and they all have a name. I mean, oh, so you're talking about like factions. Okay. So you're talking about like the factions that they have. They have too many factions. That's been brought up since the inception of AEW. Now, I like the idea of a couple of factions. I like the old school NWO, and then when it went to Wolfpack versus Black and White or Wolfpack versus Hollywood or whatever you call it, it didn't bother me then, but nowadays it seems like there's just a bunch of small pockets of people looking for their their way to the golden ticket. Um, Now, one thing you can look at like the bloodline, right? So you got the bloodline is like the real only big faction there in the WWE. Other than that, you've got what, Imperium? Yeah, Imperium. That's like it. Unless you go down to NXT, and then you've got Diamond Mine. Oh well, you got the Legado del Fantasma stuff. You got them, but that's essentially it. There's really not that many factions when it comes to the E, um, which you know, okay. The Bloodline is bar none the best story going on in professional wrestling. Period. Today. Period. That's it. There is not a better story being told in professional wrestling than the Bloodline angle. It's got everything you want. It's got family feud. It's got blood drama. It's got everything. Other than a freaking love story, it's got it all. It has everything minus a love story. It's got every other note being hit. And we don't, love triangles and shit like that don't need to be portrayed on TV in my estimation. I think that shit gets a little too wonky, and the fans end up getting a little too invested with their look at the Edge Matt Hardy Lita storyline from 20 years ago. Look at that, and tell me that didn't cause like real world issues, because in my book it did, and it was stemming from a real world problem. So I feel like stuff like that can be left out, but other than that, they're hitting everything else. They're hitting the family notes, the blood brothers. They're hitting all the good stuff, loyalty, respect, and all that. The fact that they're treating Roman like a mafia boss right now, and it's money. Then he's got his consigliere. He's got Paul Heyman. There's just so many layers and levels to it. I love it. And, for anybody that doesn't know, Paul Heyman is the GOAT. There isn't a better in history as far as managers go, in my opinion. But anyway, Monday Night Raw, Edge and Beth Phoenix ended up coming out and they challenged Finn and Rhea to a match at Elimination Chamber. Awesome. That's going to be a solid way, hopefully, to end that. It may bleed over into Mania still, but I feel like it'll be faction versus faction. But unless they do Edge, Ray, and Beth, which is an odd pairing, versus Finn, Priest, and Mysterio, I can't see this. I can't see too much of it happening. Maybe we get the finale between Edge and Finn at Mania. I'd be cool with that. Let Damien do what Damien's gonna do. Maybe Damien and Dom go after, like, they go after a tag team match, like the OC or something. This would obviously take Beth off of the Mania card, but I don't know what else you're gonna do with her to make it logically make sense. So there's still a good bit of time before Mania, and it's going to be a good show. The ticket sales are already skyrocketing, so who's surprised, right? Look at what Rumble did. Rumble made them millions of dollars. Cost them a shitload of money to start off with. No joke about that. Cost them a ton of money to get done, but they made their ROI was probably 3 times what they put in. Maybe Christian comes back. Not sure how his contract is structured. Uh, I maybe, but I'm more. I was more of an Edge guy. I think Edge is the better wrestler overall. I think he's better on the mic, better in the ring. I think Edge was the better of the two. Kind of like the Hardys. Jeff was more charismatic. Matt was the better wrestler, but as far as entertainment value went, it was obviously Jeff Hardy. It wasn't Matt. Um, Damian Priest ended up defeating Angelo Dawkins to qualify for the Elimination Chamber matchup. Now, that's the U.S. title, Elimination Chamber. I don't see a reason for Damian Priest to win the United States title at this time. I don't see it. It doesn't. To me, it makes no sense for him to win it. So he's just a body taking a loss there. That's my opinion. Dexter Loomis defeated Baron Corbin. I am happy that they are doing more with Dexter. I am a big Dexter Loomis fan. I think his gimmick, his shtick, the silent serial killer stalk, I love that shit. I think that's great because it's not something that we have a lot of out there, and it's not something that's been played to death either. Yeah, you've had your crazies, you've had your maniacals, you've had all the, but you've never had this silent stalker serial killer style. And I love that. So I'm a huge Dexter Loomis fan. Beating Baron Corbin, dude, Baron Corbin, in my estimation, has had runs with the title or runs at the title, not with the title because he's never held it, but he's had runs at it more than once. And he just never, it, I don't think he gets over with the fans well enough for them to even want to put the belt on him. At best, in my book, you're looking at a mid card guy. Okay, so here we go. I think Dexter Loomis plays it perfect. I don't understand why they put JBL with Corbin if they're not going to do anything with him. Well, the thing of it is, they were trying to help Corbin get over as the new wrestling god. Unless they're going to turn this into JBL coming out of retirement and Baron Corbin smashing him at Mania, okay, there you go. That could be a thing. And that would be like the last ditch effort for anybody to try to get behind Baron Corbin. When all else fails, you book him against a legend. Putting Corbin against anybody else right now, I don't see a need for Corbin to win the match. That's where we are with this. That's where I think WWE is when it comes to him. They don't see the logical point in Baron Corbin winning. They don't see him wearing a belt, carrying a belt, defending a belt. They don't see that. They don't see him, in my estimation, they do not see him as championship material. He's, and in my book, in his current state, he's not. He's decent on the mic. He's decent in the ring. But the world is full of average. Okay? The world is full of average. The world, if you wanted to know the truth, you can go to your local indie show and see average and above average. You can also see way below average. But my point is, what makes him so special to be on TV? To be fair, I mean, I like him better than I do like Von Wagner. I got no use for that guy. But in my estimation, Dominic Dijakovic, or Dijak as they're calling him now, is way above Baron Corbin when it comes to mic and ring work. Just my estimation. I believe that Dijak could get over as his current iteration. This slick shit, violent killer that he is looks great. I'm all about it. The match he had with Von Wagner, I did not like because Von Wagner fucking sucks. I'm not going to bite my tongue on this. I don't like the guy. I think the dude is abysmal. I don't think he fully grasps everything. He's got a hell of a look. He could have a hell of a athletic body. I just don't think the guy's that good. I'm fairly confident when I tell all of you that I have seen local independent workers better than that. Why is that dude on TV? That's my point. That is 100% my point with that statement. Why is he on TV when I could introduce you to a half a dozen better than him? Do they have the same look? No. Some of them look better than he does. A lot of them, all of them talk better than he does. And all of them wrestle better than he does. So that's it. You've just got some tall some bitch. That's it. That's his only shtick, is that he's fucking tall. Other than that, there's nothing to the guy in my book. I do not care for that man whatsoever. I'm not a fan when it comes to Von Wagner. What we got here? Game's exactly what you said, average, but he has the potential to be great. I mean, he has it all. He's just not getting over with the fans in a positive or negative way. I mean, I kind of see what you're saying there, but that's kind of his issue. He's not getting over on any side of the game here, which is the issue. Uh, the dude doesn't have a bad look. We're talking about Baron Corbin at this point. The dude does not have a bad look. He's not he's not a giant. He's not a weakling. He's not a power guy. He's just a guy. So there's really, the issue becomes there's nothing special about him. Right. I'm getting that was at Baron Corbin. Von Wagner does not look like a lion. I can't figure out what is up with his forehead, but that's not my department. That is not my department. Yeah. Wesley, I figured it out, brother. I'm good. I appreciate you. Yeah, Wagner. First one's about Corbin. Right. I said that. Anyway, as far as it goes, man, Wagner, other than the fact that he's tall, I don't see what the appeal is to Von Wagner. Baron Corbin, there's just nothing special about him. Very educated, very smart guy, and I hope he's being smart with his money. I really hope he's being smart with his money, because I don't expect this to last too much longer for him, unfortunately. Now, could he go somewhere else and get over? I don't think anybody in AEW is going to want to deal with him, because they're just, what's special about him? That's it. That's the whole top to bottom, left to right, front to back, up, down, left, right, start, A, B, whatever. There's nothing special about Corbin in my book. Brock Lesnar, again, F5's Bobby Lashley. Dude, I am down with this feud. I hope they go even more. He's a 6'10 Golden Globe boxer, and he shows up. That's what's special about him. That's it. Dude, that doesn't make a damn bit of difference. You're talking about professional wrestling, not professional boxing. I How am I more entertained by Tyson Fury in a WWE ring than I am a full-time professional wrestler named Baron Corbin? Run that one back in case you didn't know. Carmella defeated Michin, Candice LeRae, Piper Niven, and she did that to qualify for the Elimination Chamber matchup. I can't believe that they put Carmella in there, but okay. They're just trying to figure out who's going to challenge. Oh yeah, this one's just to see who challenges uh Bianca Belair at Mania, which is weird because is it a guarantee that she's going to make it to Mania with the title between now and then? Like, are you basically telling us that there are no further plans between now and then for that one title, that woman? The logic doesn't make sense on that. I will call WWE out on that. Their logic on that instance makes little to no sense. Not a big fan of that one. Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin defeated the Alpha Academy. I'm all aboard with this, and I'm going to tell you why. Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin are two fantastic wrestlers. They deserve to be featured as such. They're also neither one not bad on the mic. Reality is, on Alpha Academy, one person's decent on the mic. He's also a pretty good wrestler. The other guy is just kind of there, and he's a power guy, but he's not that entertaining. For people who don't know, I do not find Otis very entertaining. Otis is he a good wrestler? I'm sure he's fine, but it is what it is. Let's see here. I know it's impossible. I think Belair versus Cargill would be awesome if they could work something out for one night only. No, not even a little bit. You're talking about somebody who is pay-per-view TV full-time ready versus somebody who's sometimes TV ready. I'm not into it. Jade Cargill has improved leaps and bounds, yes. 50 wins is her current, or maybe she's higher than 50 now. Okay, big deal. But you can't put a caliber of talent like Bianca Belair against Jade Cargill, who's not the caliber of talent. Fantastic look. Fantastic look. She's got a great look. Don't get me wrong. But as far as the two, they aren't even on the same planet when it comes to talent. Ray Cole chimed in to say Adam Cole is king. Brandon Lamb, this is my buddy from the Swanton Pod. How you doing, buddy? He's chimed in to say not a fan. Not a fan of what? What are we talking about? Next AEW champion. No, your next AEW champion is Eddie Kingston. He wins it at the pay-per-view following this one because MJF is going to retain against Daniel Bryan. That's how that goes. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that a spoiler? It might have been a spoiler. I don't know. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I'm not a fan of Jade Cargill, Brandon either. No, I'm not. I don't believe she's very safe in the ring. My thing is this: as somebody who's had a concussion, suffered the results, and had to go through rehab and all that shit because of it, physical therapy or whatever they call it. Yeah, physical rehabilitation because of an injury. Fuck the non-safe bullshit. I'm not in. I am not in at all. I can't stand it. I feel like certain things should and that's the big reason I don't like Von Wagner. Watch his match with Dijak from Vengeance Day or whatever it was, the one that took place in Charlotte like a week or two ago. Go watch that match and you'll see what I'm talking about. That makes me go because I'm like, no, we're not doing this. I can't stand this. Um, I I don't like dumb shit anywhere. I I don't know. I remember the old ECW days, right? I was fine with like the ring collapsing and tables and ladders and chairs and barbed wire and all that bullshit. Okay, they did it safely as they could. Oh, and you did that shit with New Jack with the scaffolds and what, man? All right, that's a little bit too fucking much. The death match. There's a difference between death match as a concept and death match dumbass. Deathmatch as a concept, and you can talk to a buddy of mine, Lazarus Black, if you want, because he understands how to do this shit without actually killing you. And he can do this shit without actually killing you or getting himself killed. But you've got these morons out here that will I'm going through a flaming table in front of 7 fans for a hot dog and a handshake. If you can't tell what I'm saying, the middle finger's up. Fuck that. That is stupid shit. I hate dumb shit. New Jack was incredibly dangerous, anyways. Yeah, he was. He was extremely dangerous. But that's kind of my point. Grimes tried killing New Jack first. Hey, look, that's still not the point, dude. That's not the point at all. I don't care who tried to kill who or who tried to bang whose old lady. That shit is irrelevant to me. What is relevant, sir, is the fact of this is entertainment. It is a hell of a sport. It is very entertaining. It's the biggest variety show that there is on television, period. However, that's still a person. That person still has a family, probably. They might have parents, maybe. Brothers or sisters, possibly. Husband or wife, whatever. Kids, who knows? Y'all saw weeks and weeks ago, and I'm going to bring this up. Y'all saw that Hamlin cat on, what was it, the Bills or whatever, got hit. And he collapsed in the field, and the whole field surrounded him and had a prayer and shit, and they ended up throwing the whole game out. Here's the thing like this. That doesn't happen in wrestling very often because you can't tell what's real. You can't tell what's not real. Now, there were so many people when Owen Hart died that said it was faked and it wasn't real and this and this. And, kind of like Vince McMahon explosion, everybody knew that shit was fake, except for the fuckers that were calling 911 because they were there. That was some funny shit. I don't think a match like that will ever get sanctioned again. I'm fine with that. My point is, when it comes to it, you've got to draw the line somewhere, and I draw the line at death matches where somebody can die. You could die. Look, I get it. Yeah, you could. I could sneeze, have a heart attack, and a stroke, and fall over right here, right now, in this chair. I get it. You can die at any point in time. And why wouldn't you want to die doing something you love? I guess that's not my point either. In the long term here, those are insane. Dude, we talked about, hey, before you bring this up, bro, I got to text you about the slap off show. Hey, I talked about that last week. That was last week. White Mike and Brad Attitude are about to be a scuff. Okay, well, that's indies. Indies are still, in my book, the indies are still doing stuff that they won't do on TV. And I don't know why. I have a great idea why, but, cheers to you. That's going on up there at, yeah, I know you text me personally. We talked about it there, but I talked about it last week on this show. You can go watch it or go download it. I talked about the concussion thing for like a half hour last week, dude. Yeah, I get that. I get it'll never be on TV, Brandon. That's not my point. My point is that there is some things that the indies will still do that there what is the point of it? Okay? Allow me to elaborate that further. You've got steel cages, you've got Hell in a Cell, you've got ladders, you've got table matches, you got all these different type of matches that quantify doing blood feuds and ending blood feuds on. Okay? They all make that upper echelon of oh shit, it's real. They all get to that level. A scaffold match. Uh, Pure entertainment. People pay for chaos. Yeah, I guess, but that's. And trust me, I'm not talking down about White Mike. I've worked with White Mike before. Brad Attitude, I don't know who that is. I may have met him. I may not have. I don't know. But I worked a show here in Spartanburg with White Mike years ago, or last year maybe. I don't. Anyway, that's not the point. It's just one of those things where I don't see that point or that match having a place anymore with all the other cool stuff that we have. Devil's Playground matches or whatever that is, where there's no mat, there's no canvas, there's no um, wrestling padding, which is this thick anyway, uh, and there's barbed wire ropes. All right, then go get that. Go do that. Devil's Playground or whatever the hell they call it. I don't remember what they call it. You'd have to ask some extreme people. You'd have to ask Rage Davidson. You'd have to ask Matt Burns. You'd have to ask Lazarus Black what that match is. But at any rate, uh, I was happy to see Cedric and Shelton win that over the Alpha Academy. Asuka defeated Chelsea Green. I don't understand why they're putting Chelsea Green up against somebody like Asuka. It doesn't feel like it's going to make her. I'm trying to figure out what they're going to do to get her on that upper level. Because she's not a bad worker. She really isn't. She never has been. They just didn't know what to do with her. And I don't want to see her just going in here getting destroyed by the top tier talent of the women's division. Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes had a fantastic uh, promo together. If you haven't seen it, it is probably one of the greatest things ever on Monday Night Raw promo wise. Montez Ford defeated Elias to earn his spot in the Elimination Chamber. Becky Lynch defeated Bayley in the steel cage for your main event for the evening. That was a badass matchup from them two. There is a lot to be said when it comes to that. Man, it was a really solid show. You could tell why they are hitting that 2 mil mark right there on Monday nights pretty easily by the action that was held in that ring. I will get to the NWA shortly. Actually, last. I'll get to the NWA dead last if I have time. Um, this show's going right to the 90-minute mark. It's staying at the 90-minute mark. Same with the Thursday show. I'm putting a timer on that. The only show that's going to go over 90 minutes, and the 90-minute thing is because that's what Roku allows. That's the window I have for Roku. When it comes to everything else, yeah, I can make it longer, whatever. And people know that they can always come back to the social media to finish the show if they're watching it on Roku TV right now. But I will get to NWA at the end of the show. That was real. Exactly. It was real. That's why the promo was so awesome. Zoe Stark defeated Sol Rucka. And that was a decent match. I'm a fan of both of those ladies, so it's kind of hard for me to go one way or the other because both of those women are fantastic wrestlers. Um, and Soul has that move that she did in the corner months ago, and I was just like, if you slip up at all, it's death. But man, was that pretty. Um, Kato came back and defeated Dante Chen. I don't see the reason for this, but okay, sure. Isla Dawn defeated Tatum Paxley. I am into that. I am a big believer that Isla Dawn is a fantastic wrestler. I'm happy to see her in NXT. Carmelo Hayes defeated JD McDonough. That was a banger. There's those two dudes can go. So if you didn't check out NXT this week, you need to. Lyra Valkyria defeated Valentina Feroz. Feroz? I don't know how to pronounce her name. I don't remember hearing it. It was a match. Okay, it was a match. It wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. You know what I'm saying? It was just a match. Channing Stacks Lorenzo defeated Odyssey Jones. Dude, Lorenzo, I don't know if it really fits with the whole D'Angelo thing, but whatever. The Tony D thing. Pretty Deadly defeated Chase U. I don't understand why at all. Toxic Attraction implode during Ding Dong Hello. That ended your NXT. Those those shots to Gigi Dolan were something else. I'm telling you what I know. That girl was hurting. She was definitely iced down later that night. On to the results from AEW Dynamite. And yet again, Dynamite solid this week. I just don't know what they're going to do with it. Let's get to LA Knight. Yeah, best thing in pro wrestling. Let me talk to you. No. Yeah, dude. Oh God. If you only knew how much that shit happened in the Indies, it's hilarious. But it's only certain people and certain groups that do it. Not everybody, not all the indie shows you go to will do it, nor do the boys in the back acknowledge it. It's predominantly people that were around him during the Control Your Narrative run because it was something they did with him. Yeah, Eli Drake, yes. MJF went up against Takashita, of course. MJF won that one. AEW Women's World Champion Eliminator match. What the hell is an Eliminator match? Uh, Jamie Hayter versus the Bunny. Obviously, Hayter won that. Let's see here. Absolute Ricky Starks versus the what was that? Jericho Appreciation Society and the Garcia Guevara Gauntlet. Uh, Starks and Garcia towards the end. Garcia ended up pinning Starks. The fan that was unmasked was Chris Jericho. Tell me about something we haven't seen for the last 30 years. I'm and WWE did it with Sammy, you know, the masked guy or the fan rushing the ring. It's so obscure that sometimes if people don't know who that guy is, they might cause a problem. It's a weird thing. Uh, let's see here. Brian Danielson versus Roosh, and Brian Danielson won that matchup. The Elite went up against AR Fox and Top Flight. You know, Omega rolled up AR Fox with a crucifix and pinned him. That was it. That's how that match ended. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I got a lot of other shit to cover, and I've already burned 40 minutes at this point, so I've got to be able to keep the paces going. Um, I'll, I'll catch up on the comments as soon as I'm done covering Dynamite. I'll make it simple for that. Let's see here. The Acclaimed versus the Guns. The Acclaimed lost their tag titles to the Guns, and that's all she wrote for AEW Dynamite. It was a show. I'm not going to go into. I'm not going to go into a boatload of details. Um, I would have to care about that. Yeah, there's a little football game tonight, but the Eagles win 37-34. So that's it. Have a nice day. That's the last time I'm going to tell you the score for the fucking football game because that's the way it ends. The writers suck for the NFL. If you didn't know, because they did a terrible job when Peyton Manning and the Broncos beat the Carolina Panthers years and years ago. They had a they should have like right there at halftime. They should have switched up and had Peyton Manning. They should have had Carolina ahead going into the halftime. Coming out of halftime, going into the third quarter, they should have gotten that one last great long bomb for old Peyton Manning to get off and retire on. Like one last long bomb puts them ahead, and then they just stay ahead the rest of the night on easy shit or just defensively, overcome the game. That's it. That's how it should have ended. We should have got one last long great bomb touchdown pass from Manning and been done. I would have been down with that. You named your son Miles after Mile High Stadium, Denver. Oh, Jesus Christ. You make me drink. Absolutely make me drink. That is some shit. If I ain't never heard some shit, that's some shit. I can't believe it. Um, Moving on, we're going to talk about Impact Wrestling. Dude, yet again, they are doing big things with shit numbers. Big things, shit numbers. Because Impact has constantly and consistently been at least in the lately, has been decent to watch. They've got a shit TV deal. Mike Bailey defeated Raj Singh. Brian Myers defeated Dirty Dongo. I'm just giving you the quick hit results. Knockouts world champion Mickey James and Tommy Dreamer defeated the Good Hands, which is John Skyler, and Jason Hodge. You've got, let's see here. Jordan Grace defeated Steph DeLander. Knockouts World Tag Team Champions Death Dolls, which is Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary, defeated Killer Kelly and Taylor Wilde. PCO defeated Shira. Number one contenders qualifier. Digital media champion Joe Hendry defeated Matt Cardona. That was a solid matchup. I believe in Joe Hendry. Okay, I believe in Joe Hendry. And now we are heading to Friday night SmackDown. What another kick-ass show this was. People been sleeping on SmackDown because of what reason? Oh yeah, they didn't like the way stuff was going for Sammy. So they were like, I don't want to watch it because I don't like what they're gonna do to Sammy. It's the point of the story to get you to the next level. Every book you've ever read, including the good one, there was some bad shit that led to some good shit. That's how stories are told. Now, if you watch movies, there's normally a climax in there as well. And then some of you might not know what a climax is. Sorry, don't know. Well, it's a qualifying match for the number one contenders thing. They're gonna do a qualifying match, then a number one contenders match, and then yeah, which okay, all well and good. I'm not. I'm not all that bothered by how they're doing it. It's just I don't see versus Josh Alexander. You're gonna have a hard time selling me on anybody that's that's not like a high tier wrestler because Josh Alexander is a fantastic wrestler. SmackDown results: Sami Zayn planted the seeds of doubt in Paul Heyman. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus defeated Hit Row. Thank God. Um, Talk about something that did not stay over or did not go as well as they thought it would. Hit Row was hot coming out the gate and hmm, ain't done shit since. Just been kind of dead weight lately. Uh, are they entertaining? Yeah, they're entertaining. I don't know what their deals are, but if they're, I just can't see it being viable for long. Um, that's yet again, look, that's my opinion. Lacey Hayes defeated Carmen Harris. So, or Lacey Evans, sorry. Lacey Evans is not a bad wrestler. She's not a bad wrestler at all. She's had failed gimmick after failed gimmick after failed gimmick. I am kind of into the asshole military personnel because that fits. Uh, so I'm down with that. I can't pass judgment on her yet because I haven't had enough, but she looks like she's made some definite treks in the right direction in the ring. And she just needs to have a solid story to get her off the ground. I think a solid story is going to be it. The Usos defeated Strowman and Ricochet to retain the SmackDown tag titles. Well, who didn't fucking see that coming? Ronda Rousey returned to beat down Shotzi and Natalya with the help of Shayna Baszler. What's she going to do? What is she going to do? Liv Morgan Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defeated Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. The pairings here is just odd. Madcap Moss. This blew my fucking mind right here. Madcap Moss defeated Rey Mysterio, Karrion Kross, and Santos Escobar to become number one contender for the Intercontinental title. Twat. Fucking really? Huh? Did I just say this? Yeah, I said that. I still can't believe it. And I saw it. And I still can't believe it happened. I really feel like Karrion Kross versus Walter is a money match. I really feel like Santos Escobar, uh, oh, Gunta. I'm sorry, not Walter. Gunta. Let me say Gunta. It's fun to say it that way too. Go for it. Goon, like goon. Ta. Yeah, Gunta. See? And if you say it right, you kind of sound like Thor from the Marvel movies. So, a little tidbit for you. I was going to say Lacey Evans seems to have it all, but she's had 27 gimmicks in 3 years or whatever it's been. I mean, she's had like five or so gimmicks. The classy Southern Belle. Yeah, I did like the Southern Belle thing from Charleston. Yeah, nasties and shit. That wasn't terrible. Uh, I kind of like the All American Girl as well. Because she's an All American girl. You know, she's a Marine, a mother, and all the and a Southerner. She embodied that. But now she's got this military esque bell thing. Just weird shit for me. It's just weird shit for me. Um, but yeah, dude, Madcap Moss is the number one contender for Gunther's Intercontinental title. Yikes. I guess it's not gonna hurt him to lose to Gunta. You know, I don't think it's gonna hurt him to lose to Gunther. So it's it's okay. AEW Rampage came on right after SmackDown. Um, you ended up having The Blackpool Combat Club versus the Butcher and the Blade and Kip Sabian. Oh wait. What is this? I was gonna hurt Mad Cat with 800 chops. He's gonna have to deal with, dude. I I don't know. You know who I think would be fun would be yeah, Mad Cat Moss. I think it'd be fun to see Rick Boogs Rick Boogs versus Gunta. I think that'd be a fun one. But that's just me. Claudio ended up hitting the blade. Damn it. Excuse me. Um Claudio hit the blade with a European uppercut and scored the pinfall. Yep. Hey, look, that's half the business of being on live, and I don't edit this show when I post it to the podcast stream, so everybody in the world's going to know what my sneeze sounds like. Awesome. Oh well. Let's see here. We had Ruby Soho versus Marina Shafir. Dude, I'm not a fan of Marina Shafir. I think she needed way more time. What's the excuse now for Cesaro? He's still not world champion. He was world champion for Ring of Honor. He was the Ring of Honor world champion. Or isn't he? Wait a minute, isn't he? I think he is. He's the Ring of Honor. Isn't he the Ring of Honor heavyweight champ? Yo, y'all are killing me. Hold on. I got to look this shit up because I don't remember. ROH world champion. Let's see here. Da, 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 da. Oh, this doesn't count. That shit stops when they did that. Um, yeah, Claudio's the Ring of Honor World Champion. I had to look it up. No. Samoa Joe is the television champion. Samoa Joe is the TV champion. I can tell you don't watch damn AEW. Ruby Soho defeated Marina Shafir. Um, Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Ryan Nemeth, which is Dolph Ziggler's brother. For those of you who didn't know that. Let's see here. Jack nailed Nemeth and scored the pin. Brian Cage, Prince Nana walked onto the ramp. They taunted him. Okay. You watched how you fell asleep on Friday nights. Dude, yeah, but Friday night doesn't just show the damn, what you call it? Are they going to break up Hook and Jack? Jungle Hook? I have no idea. I don't pay that much attention to it. I don't even know if they're still a thing. I got no clue on this. Let's see here. All Atlantic, a championship match. Orange Cassidy versus Lee Moriarty. Lee came back with a Border City stretch, but Orange countered, cradling Lee and pinning him. That was the end of AEW Rampage. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the NWA show from yesterday. And then we can kind of just bullshit back and forth for the remainder of the show. When it comes to the NWA, the biggest thing in my book that came out of this was Kevin Kiley, who used to be Alex Riley in WWE. He came back and had his first televised match in 6 years. I always thought that this dude was awesome. And this is his real name. Kevin Kiley is his real name. There's apparently there were some people who are not happy with the performance he made. But either way, I am attempting to find, because I didn't watch the NWA show. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I did, because I didn't. But I'm trying to find the results from Nuff Said so I could just kind of relay them to you guys. But one of those things where it is what it is. More in the news. Nuff Said. Enough said. Results. Yeah, I'm pulling this right from the internet right now because I didn't watch it. So I had friends who were down there. I had Drago was down there. I think Nathan Cross was down there. I had a couple of buddies down there working this show. Thomas Latimer versus Fodder. Let's see here. Thomas Latimer won that match via submission. Kerry Morton with Ricky Morton versus Alex Taylor with Danny Deals for the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. Winner and still was Kerry Morton via pinfall. JR Kratos versus Thrill Billy Silas. Thrill Billy Silas wins versus referee or via referee stoppage. Pretty Empowered versus the Renegade Twins. And new NWA World's Women Tag Team Champions, the Renegade Twins. EC3 versus Kevin Kiley Jr. EC3 wins via submission. Sixth match was La Rebellion versus Blunt Force Trauma. And that was for the NWA World Tag Team Championship. Your winners and still was La Rebellion via disqualification. Trevor Murdoch versus Chris Adonis was your seventh match. Chris Adonis wins via referee stoppage. Eighth match was Camille versus Angelina Love for the NWA Women's World Championship and still Women's World Champion Camille. What I do find interesting about this was they had Camille down. Well, they didn't have. Camille went down into Florida. She ended up training with TJ Wilson, and her and Natalia were training as well. So TJ Wilson and Natalia were working with Camille. That's good shit. Because realistically, if there's a woman on the planet that I think should be in the E before the twilight of her career sets in, it's Camille. I highly see that. Austin Idol versus Homicide for the NWA National Heavyweight Championship. Oh, Scion. I'm sorry. Scion versus Homicide. My bad. I mispronounced that. Your winner and still National Heavyweight Champion, Scion. Tyrus versus Matt Cardona for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. Everybody is banned from ringside. Your winner and still NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, Tyrus, via pinfall. After that, Bully Ray come out and started talking shit. He handed the title back to Tyrus and tells him how much he respects him. And they're going to give him, Tyrus is going to give Bully a title shot in this case. What we got here? If you just told me if you didn't watch doesn't mean you can't figure it out the next day. Joking, my brother. I heard Ricky and Kerry Morton's name. Is the monster still in TNA? No. Abyss is in WWE as an agent. He's like an agent or a producer. Ricky and Kerry Morton, yes, way at the beginning of the card, because Kerry is the NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion. I have seen that title in person. It is fucking stunning. Seriously, it is fantastic. Kerry held it out like, here, look, whatever. But anyway, Kerry and Ricky were there because Kerry Morton defended against Alex Taylor, and he ended up beating Alex Taylor. He did that via pinfall. Yeah. Really what? Really what part? What part? Which part are we talking about, Wesley? You gotta elaborate on the really, bro. Really. You gotta elaborate on that. But that was the NWA coverage. The belt? Yeah. Dude, this was back in December before he broke his thumb. We were at a show in Charlotte. And he broke his thumb doing, I think, cheerleading stuff. I don't remember, because he's like a big time college cheerleader thing or something, and he's fantastic at it. Anyway, um, when we were working the show in Charlotte, Kerry was there to defend it against one of the locals, and you know, before the show starts, he's carrying in the belt, and everybody kind of like was there checking it out, and he's like, "Yeah, man, it's real pretty." Like, dude, it's the detail work on that it's stunning. The detail on it is gorgeous. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, man, I like Kerry as a person. He's a nice guy. And shit, Ricky for that matter. They're both very nice people. Um, but man, that enough said pay per view had a lot of matches in it, and that's not including the dark stuff that went on. And they were there for 2 days in Tampa. So they filmed a God knows what they filmed for the next XYZ a weeks of TV. Because in my thing, it's one of those things where they I want to see him on TV. Billy Corgan, I don't think he wants to do a TV deal, but if Corgan wanted to go that route, I think he would do fine. Um, what night? Maybe Thursday. Like have them on at 6:05 on Thursday. 2 hours later, you got 8 o'clock is damn Impact Wrestling until 10 o'clock, and then New Japan. And see, it's like that would work. That could be a thing in my book. That could be a thing. So y'all can say what you want, but I really do believe that the NWA could be weekly on TV, 6:05 Thursday, and do fine. That's my opinion. I'd love to see it. It does seem like the end of always put pristine into their. Oh, it does seem like the NWA always put pristine into their belts ever since Big Gold. Dude, well, Big Gold was WCW. Big Gold wasn't the NWA. That would take wrestling to another level. I love the idea and throw TNA back as well. Impact Wrestling is TNA, dude. Impact Wrestling is TNA. It's the same thing. NWA should be on TV. I agree with that. Impact Wrestling is TNA. TNA used to be TNA Impact. Now it's just Impact Wrestling instead of TNA Impact or TNA. So I I know it's one of those off shows. Trust me, dude. If you get a chance to watch it, you should really check out um, all that you can for Impact's current stuff. Would be the way to be. So that we get caught up because Impact's actually doing pretty good shit. You just need to be able to watch it. Uh, I'm a big believer that the NWA should be on television. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And all right, buddy, you take it easy. Have a good one. Um, Either way, y'all, wrestling is in a fantastic place right now. We're heading into Mania season, and it shows because everybody's wide open right now. From the indies to the TV shows, everybody's kind of firing on all cylinders, and it's making everything flow so much better. There are people around the world tuning in who haven't tuned in years. There are people around the world who have never stopped tuning in. It seems to me like the market is just growing, which, oh, wait a minute. A rising tide raises all ships. That's the reason for the expansion and explosion in indie promotions around the world, especially in our area. It's also the reason the explosion of podcasts and live streams and coverages and things like this. All this. One more thing, wondering why bring Cody in at number 30 when we all knew he was going to win? I mean, I I don't know. Maybe they wanted to try to save his pec as much as they could for that. That's the only thing that logically makes sense to me is that that pectoral muscle still got jacked in there, even though he was medically cleared and healed and surgery repaired and all that shit. I guess it just makes logical sense to try to save him as much as you can. If I'm the I'm trying to protect my investment. That's your big story is him. Watch them swerve us all and not have him beat Roman. Watch them swerve every fucking one of us and have him not beat Roman Reigns. Oh god, then Monday Night Raw you get Sammy and Cody versus Roman and they both put an arm over him and he doesn't get up, or they both put a submission on him and he taps out, and then they each take one title and that's the split for the titles. Not a big fan of that, but I get what you mean. Why bring him in at 30? Because why not? We all knew he was gonna. He was like everybody's pick. Sami Zayn won't even in the Rumble. I loved it. I love the fact that they only had a very few select surprises in the Rumbles this year. It brought everybody back down to reality because everybody's been living in this fantasy of, oh my god, we're gonna see like half the legends. We're gonna see like half the legends out here. It's gonna be madness. We're gonna see all these great people, and you got Booker T. You got Booker T, sucker. Uh, and I can dig it because it was fine. I was all about that. It was a solid performance from Gunther. It You needed to see the workhorse Gunther holding the workhorse Intercontinental title do the work of that match. They had Rhea go from one to win, which I thought was fantastic. That worked great for her story. It makes her look just amazing. Her versus Charlotte. That's going to be good stuff right there. I'm all about that. I really do believe that I'm trying to figure out who they're going to send up against Bianca for the the Raw Women's title. I just what is it? What is it? You could almost rename the Intercontinental and US title to the Raw and SmackDown titles and then have a World Heavyweight title. That'd be it. Um let's see here. It's definitely added for some steam to the IC title, but that's all anybody on Rock. Wait a minute. That's all anybody on Rock and Russell for if there are singles guys. Oh, anybody on Raw for if there are singles guys. Yeah, I guess. But the point is, dude, that there's so much obscurity out there when it comes to who's going to be your next contender for the IC title. I don't understand what they're going to do. You're going to have to take my advice about spell check, bro. It ain't just you; it's a lot of people. If you're using talk to text, that happens a whole hell of a lot. Um, so yeah, just don't do talk to text. I know it's hard to comment on a show, and I'm trying to keep my shows controlled at about 90 minutes nowadays. Um, we are going to have one coming up in the beginning portions, end of this month, beginning of next month. It's either going to be the 28th or the 7th. So the 20th of February or 7th of March, we're going to have a special 2-hour episode, which we'll probably start announcing later this week. I'm gonna check my sources and make sure, but I think we're gonna start announcing that this week. Speaking of stuff to announce, I got to tell you guys about something. Did y'all know that there is a podcast and podcasters expo coming. Are you into art? Are you into uh are you into art? Are you into podcasting? Do you want to buy some art? Do you want to check out some different podcasts? Well, I'm going to share this link right here. And you can actually get 10% off by using the promo code WIRE. So I'm going to add this link, the promo code WIRE for 10% off. I'm going to paste it right here in the chat for everybody to see. And it's going out there, everybody. So Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, the whole thing. Everybody can see it. Promo code WIRE. I'm going to be a part of Podcast Alley here at this podcast show. Check it out. It's for Heroes and Legends Wrestling. This is going to be in Tennessee in May. So I am super excited about this. Myself and my Thursday night cohort are going to be there, kicking ass, taking names, and enjoying ourselves. Not sure who else is going to be there, what else is going to happen, but guys, $10 to get in, and you get 10% off by using my name, promo code WIRE. Nothing wrong with this. This is going to be a great deal for everybody. I'm not sure who all's wanting to be up there and do a thing, but if I'm getting a table up there, so it's going to be what it is. Whether it's just me or it's me and a handful of other people, we're going to go up there and knock it down because that's what we want to do. Actually getting it set up, I'm going to be interviewing the guy from this and from Heroes and Legends Wrestling within the coming weeks as well. We are aiming to do a lot of different things here. We're trying to expand our market. We're trying to expand our reach. We're trying to expand what we do. So we're just aiming to hit every fucking thing that we can to make it all kind of roll out. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, what else do we have for professional wrestling? What else is professional wrestling pointed out there that we need to try to get covered? Let's talk about storylines. Right now, your number one storyline out there is the Bloodline, followed by what's going to be the story of the year is the Cody Rhodes win. There's so much out there. You've got the Sammy KO friendship rekindlance thing. That's going to lead them to Mania, hopefully a title shot, and defeating the Usos for the tag titles. I think the Usos and Roman are due for some time off. They've been nonstop for how long now? I think it's time for them to drop belts and take a reprieve. Just take some time off, and then when they come back, everybody's gonna flip shit to see them. You know what I mean? Them and Heyman. I think they could all just take a nice vacation, come back, and try to figure out what they want to do or what's next for them. There is so much out there. That's a very interesting statement. Let's see. Yeah, they need to go spend some of that money they've been making. Yeah, take their families out and all that. That'd be great. Let's see here. Oh boy. Yeah. This business is crazy. In case you didn't know, there are a ton of people in this going nuts. Uh, there's a ton of people in podcasts. There's a ton of people in wrestling. There's a ton of people, period. There's just a lot for it. Uh, if you guys didn't know, you need to know. Professional wrestling is a business. It's a business. It all comes down to business in the end. Good business, bad business, smart business, dumb business. It's a business. Personally, I'm not taking an L on anything I do. I refuse to. I ain't built that way. So I'm not going to take a loss, whether that means financial or otherwise. That's just me. Do I make the investment? You damn straight I make the investment. I also know how to get ROI, which is return on investment. So that's there. And don't say it's the mob, but not since the territory days. No, motherfucker, it's still the fucking mob, even here on the indie scene. Trust me when I tell you, it's still pretty. It's still got its demons and baddies and everything else. Still there. Um, I am grateful, 100% grateful to the men and women I work with. No doubt about it. Everybody from the King Enterprises crew that I work with, the promoters that I work with, the uh, people outside, the outside collaborators that I work with, the other podcasters that I work with. I'm grateful to everybody. When it comes to the podcast side, it's pretty simple. If I mess with you, which means, have a relationship with you, that means I respect you. If I do not acknowledge your existence, then that means you need to re examine what you've done, figure out why I don't. That's all that there is to say about that. The same goes for people in the wrestling ring. If a promoter approaches me, asks me to work, and there happens to be some people there I don't care for, the price for me to be there just went up. So, and that's fair. That's business. You can pick and choose how you want to do life. You don't have to work for every show. I did that last year. I'm good. I don't need to do that anymore. I didn't need to do it then. I wanted to do it then. I just wanted to do it to prove a fucking point. And I did it to prove a point. Here on out has I have had a calibration and an awakening, an epiphany, a realignment of chi. Whatever you want to, break it down to, however you want to quantify it to make it make sense. I'm focusing on what I want to do. And that's it. If I want to travel, I'm going to travel. If I want to perform, I'm going to perform. But overall, I'm just going to show the support to the people who've supported me. One hand has washed the other forever. One hand will continue to wash the other hand. Mutually beneficial. That's the way it goes. If it don't feel right, it probably is. Oh no, dude. Look, you can't force a fart. It's probably shit. I'll put it that way for you. There are people and places out there that I refuse to deal with. And it is what it is. And that's to no fault of anybody else. Um, the reality is, especially when it comes to who I choose to associate with, it's not because I have an issue. It's because somebody else had an issue. I've been more than accepting, accommodating, and everything else. So, to those who don't get it, or those who might have questions as to, well, why am I not involved in this? Not involved because you're not fucking involved. Not involved by your own hand, by your own fault. It's no fault of mine. And if I told you I had a problem and you still chose, that's damn sure on you. You dug your own grave. I just buried it. That's all there is to it. Man, there are so many different things. For the year, 2 years I've known you've always been a class act. Man, I appreciate that, Wesley. I'm guaranteeing you some people I'm guaranteeing you there's some people out there who will tell you that's not the case. But it is what it is. And it doesn't even matter if I'm booked for the show. that that I support, because I will still show support to people who ask for it. I'm not going to go out there and volunteer to promote anything. I will promote it if asked to, or if I feel that it's going to be in my best interest to promote it, or if it's going to be in my best interest to cover it. I'll cover it. That's why I'm happy that there's a bunch of other shows popping up in this area. Swanton Pod and Rampage's Den and all these other guys. Dude, fucking hey, thank God y'all are here. Because A, I can't be everywhere, and B, I'm not going to go everywhere. You guys can go to those shows that I don't go to. Great. You can go to the shows I go to. That'd be even better. But I'm not going everywhere. It's not gonna fucking happen. I've got way too much other shit to deal with on top of life. Um, when I am a smartass and people are like, man, when the fuck do you sleep? Uh, Pick 3 hours here or there, and that's about the realistic answer. Uh, my average day starts at about 5 a.m. and normally between 12 and 1 is where it ends. At midnight 1 a.m. is where it ends. So on average, it's realistically about 3 solid hours of sleep, maybe a little bit here or there. But it is what it is. Somebody did say, man, you're working yourself into an early grave. Well, thanks for figuring it out for me. You're burning the candle at both ends. I would guess I'm holding it in the middle then. Cool. Uh, it's not about that. It's about having a goal and obtaining a goal. It's no different than people who want that, you know, bike or beach body as they call it. They want to have that appeal look to them. They're going to work their asses off in the gym. They're also going to work their asses off when it comes to their diet and the shit they do at home. No different than that. It's no different than anybody who wants to be in the wrestling ring and they want to have that look. They're going to have that look. They're going to go to the gym. They want to be confident and competent with their moves and move set, and they want to be trusted by their coworkers. They're going to put the effort in to train. Me, I'm no different than them. I'm just doing something different than they are. You still got to have a goal. You still got to push for your goals. You still got to try to obtain and go after everything else out there. So a lot of things have come to fruition in the last 6 months. We'll just say the last 6 months has been one of the most difficult times. My life, professionally, personally, and everything else. But what it boils down to is I've learned who I can talk to. I've learned who friends are. I've learned who family is. I've found people that I can rely on. And in the end, that's what matters. You can stand on your own all you want. You can fight till you die all you want. But you got to have people around you still. It is very hard to find people out there who are one and done and that's it. It's their whole world is one thing. I'm not one of those people where it's one thing's the end of me. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of people that are involved, whether it be my profession, my passion, my personal life. There's a lot going on. Um, you're part of the show, just as important. Takes everyone to pull off a good match and show. Hey man, look, I wasn't necessarily talking about that, but yeah, you're right there. There's a lot of people involved in this. There's a lot of people involved in professional wrestling. It takes a massive team effort to pull off a really good show. But at any rate, folks, we are coming into that final 5 minutes. So this is your 5 minute warning. And if anybody has anything else they would like to bring up, I strongly encourage you to do so because I'm going to be taking this bitch home here in just a few seconds. But either way, once again, thank y'all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate all of you. Be sure you tune in Thursday night for the Thursday night Indie Spotlight. Got plenty to talk about with a bunch of local indie shows coming up, as well as the announcement of a new thing we're doing. Maybe the return of something we're doing would be a better way to put it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Be sure you check out if you're a podcast fan or an artist fan, or you are a podcaster or you are an artist. Check out that link that's in my comments section here, and you will see all that stuff. Promo code WIRE for 10% off your ticket. Get your tickets now at heroesandlegendswrestling.com. That is going to be an awesome expo down in, or up in for me, up in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. That is going to be badass. What is that? 3 squares. I don't know what that is because I can't see that here. Sorry. But so just be sure that you give that website a check. Be sure you check out XWW. Be sure you're looking for us on Roku TV. Be sure you're getting that app. Hit that subscription. Get you a $5 a month bill that's worth its weight in gold. Because you get a ton of coverage, a ton of content. There's AML, there's Pro Wrestling Savage, there is PWE, I think. PWE? PEW? I'd have to go back and look. Dude, there's so much shit on XWW's network. It's crazy. I need to like write it down and have this thing that I can read from over here on my screen to just remember all the stuff I got to tell you guys every week. But either way, guys and ladies, thank you all very much for tuning in. It has been real. It's been fun, and hell fucking yeah, it's been real fun. So I will catch you next time. Thus proclaimed, the same.